He really tried to be on some scamming ass shit to me, and that's crazy because like I know I almost took your bitch, but I didn't, you know. So
It's time. I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah Lord, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you are new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make story times, videos, hauls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, science like for the kids. You know the vibes. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you are returning or you're new, don't forget to like the video, because liking the video helps me a lot. It helps me get into the algorithm and it helps other people just like you see my content. So if you want to see more Vlogmas videos and you want me to keep making more story times and you want me to get to the big story times I've been holding back from y'all, help me help you by liking my content. So today's video is going to be a story time, and today's story time is about the time my best friend's girlfriend wanted me instead of him. So back in high school, I think I mentioned this to you guys, but back in high school I used to be on the app Tagged a lot. A lot of y'all are super young, so you're gonna have no idea what Tagged is, like none at all. But Tagged was basically like a social media network that's kind of like Facebook, but it was way more advanced than Facebook in my opinion, because it lets you kind of like design the layout of your website. You got to have like music on your website. Like when I say website, I mean like your profile. Like your profile got to have music. It got to have like all these stickers, these GIFs. Like you basically were coding your website to look exactly how you want it to look. Like Tagged was so advanced, and honestly like I miss websites like that, but let me not get too far ahead. So I used to be on Tagged a lot because one day my friend at the time, she told me like, oh yeah, like I'm on this website Tagged or whatever, like I'm just doing it because I'm bored, but there's a lot of guys on the website and I'm also making a lot of friends, So I was like, okay. At the time I didn't have a boyfriend, so I was just like, let me just get on the app and see what's going on. So when I got home that day, I logged onto the website and I made myself a profile, right? In the incoming weeks, I did make a lot of friends on Tagged. Like I made a lot more male friends than female friends, obviously. But what was interesting about the app is that I thought that it was going to be more so like a dating website. But for me, it really wasn't like that. Like I think I started only talking to one person romantically on that website, but every other person I met on that website, we were just strictly platonic, like just friends, right? So this one person in particular, I met him on Tagged. One day I'm on the website, you know, minding my business, listening to music, kind of like editing my profile, trying to, you know, switch it up a little bit, switch up the layup. You gotta keep your toes, you know what I mean? So I'm doing all of that or whatever, and I get a friend request. So I go to the friend request and it's from this guy, and for the sake of this video we're gonna call him Clyde, okay? So I got a friend request from Clyde and I accepted it. Usually I didn't have a criteria for who I was gonna accept on Tagged because I wasn't interested in anyone. Like I wasn't looking for a man, you know what I mean? I just wanted friends. So I accepted his profile, and then he started talking. I don't remember in particular how our conversation, oh that scared the shit, oh my Christmas tree is right next to me. I hit it by accident. Jump scare. Shortly after I accepted his friend request, he started talking to me, and the conversation was very neutral. Like it wasn't anything weird. He didn't try to flirt with me or anything like that, but we were just talking like, you know, just really dry conversations in the beginning. It was like, hey, how are you? How's your day going? How's your night going? What you doing? Where you live at? Like those were the conversations we had in the beginning. Eventually, I did give him my Facebook profile. And when I gave him my Facebook profile, we became a little closer as friends. I have these screenshots somewhere in my laptop, but I can't pull them up right now. So I'm going to pop them on the screen, but I'm going to try to recall them from the top of my head. One day, we were playing this game on Facebook. Now, I know a lot of you don't have a Facebook account, or you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But there was a point when I was in high school where people would literally post like, oh, like this post and comment a color, and I will respond and tell you how I feel about you, or I'll rate you from 1 to 10, or I'll tell you a memory I have on you, or my thoughts on you, or something like that. Like it was always games that we were playing on Facebook like that. So one day we were playing a game like that, and I think he had liked the post or something, or I liked his post. I think I liked his post, and he was telling me something like, oh, like I really like you and I was really interested in you and attracted to you, but you know, I respect your relationship and your boundaries. So I was like, oh my god, like I did not know you were attracted to me, and I didn't know you wanted me like that. Like it was never given that to me in my head, so I was confused. So I was like, oh my god, like that's so cute, blah blah blah. At the time that he got my Facebook, I did have a boyfriend. Now I don't remember which one of these beanhead niggas was my boyfriend, but it was one of them. It was probably the older one who was a little slow and was in remedial school. It was probably him, honestly. He was like, yeah, no, I respect your relationship, so yeah, I've never crossed no boundaries. And I was like, oh my god, that's so nice, blah blah blah. After that conversation, him and I became much closer. Like, when I tell you, I would get on the phone and talk to this boy every single day. Like, we would talk every single day for like 2-3 hours at a time, just catching up to how our day was going, how our family's doing, anything interesting that happened. We would like refer to stuff that's going on in pop culture and pop media and stuff like that. And it was just like, you know, a really good stable friendship for me. He never flirted with me. Still, after he told me that he liked me, he never flirted with me. It was always just like having a supportive, neutral male friend. That's all it was between. A few weeks after that Facebook post that I liked and that he DM'd me, he got a girlfriend. And to me, it was a little strange because the way him and this girlfriend were interacting on his wall, it seems like they had been together for a really long time. So I was like, where did this come from? Because he's telling me that he likes me. So where did this girl come from? So I hit him up and I'm like, yo, you got a girlfriend? And he was like,
yeah, I got a girlfriend. At the time that I met you, you know, we weren't together. We're in a really turbulent relationship. It's very toxic. We argue all the time. Like, she leaves me all the time. So at the time that you and I met each other, like, she wasn't around, and that's why I didn't tell you about her.
So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't know if he told his girlfriend about me or she noticed that like I would post on his wall and be like, hey, like, call me after school or something like that. I don't know if she noticed that or he told her about me, but she eventually started posting like subliminal messages about me. Like, she would like comment on his wall like, oh,
Clyde is all mine. None of y'all, I don't care who's his friend. I don't care who he calls his bestie. I don't care who y'all knew are. But it's always gonna be me over y'all.
Wait, is this a fucking play about us?
wait, you...
She not talking to me, like...
You're not talking to me. You're not talking to me. She's doing all of this and I'm ignoring it at first because I'm like, I don't think she's talking about me. But then it kept going. Like, she kept throwing subliminal messages. So I remember I hit him up one day and I said like something like, oh, like, your girlfriend is at it again. You need to tell her to watch her mouth because I'm not playing like that. So he was like,
oh, don't worry about her. Like, I'll talk to her.
I forgot to mention this, but she used to always do this thing where she took his phone or like she logged onto his Facebook account and she would get into his messages and just respond back to people. So sometimes I think I'm talking to him, but I'm really talking to her. And it would just be like, what is going on?
And she kept doing that. Like, she literally kept doing it. One day, he went to go meet up with her because he lived in Staten Island and she lived in Harlem. So he went to go meet up with her in Harlem. And I called him on the phone and she took his phone and she was
Like, hey girl.
and I was like, hey girl. And she was like,
oh, my name is Bonnie. It's finally nice to talk to you on the phone. I know that you and Clyde are friends. Don't worry. Like, I don't think anything's going on. I just wanted to say hi and introduce myself. I'm Bonnie. I think you're so pretty. We should be friends.
okay. So I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. Like, we could be friends. That's not a problem. So after that conversation, she did add me on Facebook and then we started talking a little bit throughout the day. Like, she would hit me up and she'd be like, hey girl, how's your day going? How are you? And I would talk to her and we became friends, but we weren't as close as I was to Clyde. Like, it was me and Clyde, her and Clyde, me and her type thing. Like, everybody had their own separate relationship to each other, but we were all friends in a group. I was just stuck in between that weird ass situation. So, you know, as I would talk to them and stuff like that, it was fine in the beginning. It was fine in the beginning until it wasn't. The shit got strange. When I tell you these people used to argue so much, it gave me raging anxiety. They argued so much that I felt like I was in between their arguments. And at first they tried to hide the arguments from me, but then it became quickly evident that they were going through some things, baby, some things. So one day I see them throwing subs at each other and I hit her up and I'm like, what's going on between the two of y'all? She's like,
You need to talk to your friend because he's wilding right now. I don't know what his problem is.
so I hit him up and I'm like, Clyde, what's going on? And he's like,
yo, like, she get me so tight. Like, she always on that whole shit. I don't know what her problem is. Why would you come back to me if that's what you planned on doing? Always around with me. I hate
bitch. And I'm like, goddamn, what happened? I said to myself,
Man, What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Like, I was so confused. So I'm like, bro, slow down and tell me what happened. So basically, he's trying to tell me that there's an ex-girlfriend that Bonnie has. Didn't even know she was bisexual. Child. I didn't know.
He's like, yeah, Bonnie has this ex-girlfriend who's real disrespectful. They go to school together and she's always on her. She's always trying to talk to her, telling her to leave me. She hates my guts and she's disrespectful as hell. And I already told her I'm not about to play with her because I got somebody for her. I got a sister and I got some cousins that will really handle.
Yeah, he's going off and I'm like, ooh. So he tells me about the situation and I go to Bonnie and I'm like, bro, what is happening here? So she tells me like,
yeah, you know, I'm really trying to get my ex-girlfriend under control, but she doesn't listen. Like, she doesn't stop. She doesn't leave me alone. She's obsessed with me. She wants me back, so she's continuing to disrespect Clyde.
And in my head, I'm like, well, why would you let somebody disrespect your boyfriend? Why don't you just block her? Like, I don't understand. And she's giving me this cockamamie bullshit story about how she doesn't want to block her because they're best friends. What? So I'm like, okay, sure. A week goes by and these people are still arguing about the same situation. They are going back and forth about this nonsense. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I stay out of it and I mind my business and I remain a neutral relationship between the two of them. What? I'm on the phone with Bonnie one day and the girl gonna tell me,
I think you're so gorgeous. I think you're so gorgeous. You're so beautiful. You're fine as hell.
and I'm like, thank you, friend. You know what I mean? Like, women do this thing where we hype each other up all the time. You know what I mean? Like, we hype each other up. Like, yeah, girl, eat them up, eat them up, eat them up. Like, you know what I mean? I do that to my friends to this day. But the way she was talking to me, I was like, this is a new one. There's a lot of emphasis in this one. But okay, sure. So I'm like, yeah, girl, thank you so much. Like, you're so nice. Stop it. Stop it. And she's like, no, I'm serious. Like, you're so gorgeous. But then after that, she drops it and she lets it go. The next day, she makes another flirtatious remark at me. And she's like,
how's your fine ass doing?
and I'm like, I'm doing good, girl. How are you? And she's like,
I'm just good, just thinking about
you. And I was like, why you thinking about me for? And she's like,
I'm just thinking about you and how you doing and how you looking.
and I was like, huh? So I was like, what? So she's telling me like,
oh yeah, I'm just thinking about you. Don't worry, like, I'm just joking. So
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I brush it off, right? Every time she made a flirtatious remark, I would brush it off because I'm not into women. And number two, you're one of my closest friends' girlfriend. What do you think is going on between the two of us? Nothing. The third time she did it, this girl said the wildest shit to me that I've ever heard another woman say out of her mouth. And I will not repeat it because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube. But she was basically telling me the things that she wanted to do to me and for me.
I beg your pardon?
And then she was basically telling me how attracted she was to me, because after she made the remark she made, I kind of had to stop her in her tracks, and I was like, why are you saying all of this? Like, where is this coming from, number one? And number two, what the? So she's like, oh,
I've been hiding this for a while, but I'm really attracted to you and I think you're so fine and I think we'd be cool together.
blah blah blah. And I'm like, Bonnie, you know I'm not attracted to women. I'm not into women, number one. And number two, you are somebody's whole girlfriend. What is going on? So she's telling me like,
yeah, my bad, I've been trying to control myself, blah blah blah, but that's just how I feel about you, and I really just wanted to voice my opinion and stuff like that, just in case you were interested.
I was never gonna be interested, baby. It was never gonna be me. So I'm like, okay, all right. And then I made up an excuse about like having to get off the phone. In the next few hours, I thought about whether or not I should tell Clyde about it, because I was just like, I really don't want to start no drama, like drama that's already happening between them. Like, I don't want to exacerbate that, but at the same time, I don't want my close friend to feel like I'm hiding something from him or I'm trying to be sneaky with his girlfriend, because that's never what's going on. So after thinking about it for a while, I did hit him up and I was like, hey Clyde, I need to talk to you about something. So he was like, okay. He called me after school and he was like,
what's up? What's going on? Is everything okay?
So I'm like, yeah, everything is fine, but a few days ago I was talking to Bonnie and she started flirting with me, and I ignored it after the first and second time because I thought it was a joke. But then yesterday she said some wild shit to me and then told me how she's attracted to me and she wants to be with me. So he was like, what? He was like, wait, what? He was like, why would she say that to you? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So he was like,
damn, that's crazy. Like, she really doing wild shit and now she trying to take my best friend away from me. This is wilding. It's not bad enough that she's still with her ex-girlfriend messing around with her. She thinks that I don't know that she's still messing around with her ex-girlfriend in school, and that's why that girl is wilding like that. That's why she's disrespecting me like that. She thinks that she could lie to me and tell me that her ex-girlfriend just don't listen, and now all of a sudden she wants to take my best friend from me? My best friend from me?
I was like, yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like it to me. And so he's like,
damn, that's really crazy.
and he's asking me more details about the conversation, and I'm giving him everything I can. But at some point I was just like, y'all need to keep me out of this. I'm not interested in whatever's going on. I don't care about any of it. So that conversation kind of ends, and he's like, he's gonna talk to her about it. She doesn't say anything to me for the next few days because I guess she got chewed out by him. But he came back after a while and he was apologizing to me about the whole situation. He was saying that it was disrespectful of her and he didn't mean for me to get roped into this situation. Come to find out, these two fools are in an open relationship. So all that hooting and hollering you was doing on Facebook about how your girlfriend is a cheater and about how your boyfriend don't got no balls, okay? And y'all trying to rope me into this. Did y'all think we was gonna be a throuple? Did y'all think I was gonna be a sister wife? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And you know what? As I'm telling the story, I realized that y'all probably think that this happened in a short amount of time, but it really didn't. I was friends with this guy for like a year. You know what I mean? Like a year and some change, probably damn near 2 years. And while we were in this friendship, his girlfriend was like in and out of his life, but she tried to be consistently in mine. And after she tried to flirt with me and she said what she said, I kind of dropped her completely. And him and I were still kind of cool, but our relationship kind of like dwindled because I felt uncomfortable talking to him. I really didn't want to I didn't want to be part of that shit, like not at all. And so yeah, like our friendship kind of ended that way. And he would hit me up a few times after that, like in a few recent years. He would hit me up and be like, hey, like I miss you, how are you doing, blah blah blah. And most times I wouldn't say anything back because what is there for us to talk about? But what's interesting is I only remember to tell y'all this story because I think at the beginning of the year or last year, I got an Instagram message from him that was basically saying like, this nigga was trying to scam me on some shit. I'm gonna post a message. If I didn't block him, I'm gonna post a message. But yeah, that's the only reason I remember to tell this story is because he really tried to be on some scamming ass shit to me. And that's crazy because like, I know I almost took your bitch, but I didn't. You know, so yeah, that's the end of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the gang because you watched this whole video. You might as well stick around. Follow me on all my socials, that is Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Call me BP if you want to reach me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.